I don't even know how much was recorded, but I'm just gonna start from. Well, I had a roommate, and she wasn't African American like myself. She had blonde hair. She was real thin, with a contagious smile, and I believe that's why we got the place to begin with. Cause on my own, me myself, I'm gonna keep it 100. Even though I had no convictions, had the income to pay the rent every month with no problem, I just don't believe they would have rented out to me and my 4 kids. But it took having her there to get for me to even get my foot in the door. But anyways, what I was saying was she had to leave because she was flipping me in every night, bringing random guys in the house. Mind you, she shared a room with her 2 minor sons, and I don't know how she. Well, I do know. She would send the boys across the hall to my daughter and her daughter's room because my daughter and her daughter shared a room at the time upstairs. And she would make the boys go in there until she was done doing what she was doing with the men. And I just got tired of all the traffic for these different men. So I came to her as a woman and I said, hey, I know I didn't give you a time limit to be here before you found a place, but you need to, step it up because I don't live like this. I don't do traffic. I don't do strangers around my kids or myself. I'm very paranoid. From my past, I can't live like this. Mind you, it was more than a 10-year age gap between me and her. Way more than a 10-year age gap. So she continued to do it. So one night, this when everything changed for me. From being understanding and patient to helping you got to get going. What happened was, she was downstairs, sitting on the couch. Didn't know why she was downstairs on the couch, and I didn't care why she was on the couch. My bedroom door was open. All of a sudden, I hear her talking, and then I hear a deep voice, like a male's voice, in the front room. And then it turned into like I hadn't said anything to her about these males. She felt like, okay, she got a home, she got somewhere to rest her suitcase, she gonna do what she wanna do regardless. Okay. So I called her, away from her guests, and I was talking to her in the room. In the meantime, the conversation between me and her was getting really intense, and she sent her male companion upstairs to her room. Okay, hold on. Let me turn on this air, because I can't hear. Let me turn the air on. So she gonna say, what's wrong? She called me by my full government name. And I said, I told you already what's wrong. I don't live the way you trying to turn this house into. I don't live like that. And besides, you told me that we was gonna go half on everything. The rent, the lights, the gas, the water bill, everything. And she gonna say, well, that what you think I'm trying to do? I'm trying to come up with the money. And I said, well, the way you going about it, I said, you could have took your business to a rest stop. She gonna say, oh, Lenise, what can I do for you? I said, huh? She said, what can I do for you? She said, I'm bi. And I said, and you finna go by. And that started the whole process of going back and forth to the courthouse to get an ex parte order. And I think she gonna buy me off like I'm one of these old skeleton finna die AIDS victim she messing with. Oh, no, she didn't. I don't rock like that. So, we got to arguing every day, and so one day, maybe 3 or 4 days had passed. I said, that's it. I had enough. I got up, got my kids ready. We got in our van at the time, and I headed to the courthouse. And I did an ex parte order. But lo and behold, when the police came in and issued her copy of the ex parte order, it wasn't for the removal. It was for me to stay my distance away from her in the house and her do likewise. Oh no. So once she was served, that really made her mad. I mean, she was mad. So what I do, I had to go back to the courthouse and I had to correct the ex parte order, not just to get it granted, but to have her outside, put her out the house. Because at this point, she was talking like she was ready to rape me. Oh no. I'm too big, I'm too fat, I'm too hot, I'm too everything. You ain't just finna take my cookies, and I do mean cookies, because mine is too old to be cookies. It's cookies.
What?
Yeah, cookies. So, yeah, she wasn't finna tap with my cookies. No.
Mind you, those skies were like bad people.
You look at my cookies, they just crumble. That's how old it is. But anyways, so the day they came and served her, oh my God, everything just went left. I'm talking about she was ready to beat me up if she thought her bony self could. Even though I was gonna let her get the first leg, but she wasn't gonna catch no more, not on me. She was gonna catch it to the jaw, to the body, to the ribs, to the cage or something. Yeah, I give you one, but you ain't getting there after that. But anyways, so I had to have her removed. When I tell you she had somebody every day to come and tamper with my car down to my brake line. They literally cut the brake line. They put all kind of shit in my tank. They took all my plugs and wires from under the hood. Yeah, she did all that till she was satisfied. You know, and then what I did was I eventually just went and got another car. One with the alarm systems and all that stuff, cameras and all that. Because all I wanted to do was catch whoever just one time. That's all it would have took. And I was going to press homicide charges because this heifer tried to kill me when she cut my brake line. But for some reason, I don't know if she moved out of the state of Missouri or she was satisfied with all the damage and money she caused me by doing the damage, but she finally left me alone. She really did, but it almost cost me and my kids' life in the process. I wasn't using her. We needed each other at the time because she didn't even have no money to put down on anything to move in. Everything, all monies came from my pocket. Only thing she had that I needed was that list. And perhaps the skin color.
And guess what? And we found some things after she left too. Some evil things.
Yeah, my son reminded me that when she left some voodoo stuff in our house. She had a couple of voodoo dolls. I forgot what else she had. I know it was
a Pentagon cross.
A Pentagon cross.
A lot of negative energy stuff.
Yeah, a lot of negative energy stuff. That's what she left behind. And I stayed on this highway too long. Now I gotta go through this process. But y'all just, stay with me.
But we burnt it.
Yeah, we made a big old bonfire in the yard. Who is that calling, DeAndre?
Just a number.
Answer it.
Hello?
Yeah, we made a big bonfire in the yard and we set
Hello?
everything on
They're not
fire.
talking.
Is it on speaker?
Yeah.
Is it on what's the number? Say the number. The first three numbers.
573
The next three.
792
I'll call back when I get off the highway.
1976.
I'll call it back when I get off the highway. Let me navigate through this crap. Because I was talking, not paying attention, and missed my exit to get on the service road to get back towards the house. But, yeah.
And never did we pray when she was losing for like before like yeah. Well we prayed before. We still prayed, but like I know like when like we'll eat dinner
Yeah.
and stuff.
And the fact that she used to always make y'all call her Auntie Rachel when there was no blood, no nothing. All because she had sex with one of my cousins. God rest his soul, that's no longer here, but she thought that made her auntie, but no, that would still make you a cuz for us. That's it, just a cuz.
She's a cuz.
Yeah, because he was my cousin, not my uncle. So I don't know how she would be y'all auntie.
I kept thinking she was a witch.
And I kept telling her, don't do that. Don't come along out of nowhere. My kids just met you. Don't confuse my kids like that. She said, but it's just a respect thing. No, it's a lying thing. Because my kids know you are no relations to us. Because if you were, I would have introduced you as family. I didn't. I introduced you as Rachel, and Rachel is who you are. And you want to confuse all your kids by telling them all they uncles that's in and out every night, then hey, I can't tell you what to do. Those your kids. Confuse your own. But don't do that to mine. Mine's old enough and wise enough to know you are no relations. And mama wouldn't hold back the fact if you were relations. I already told my kids, hey, this your Auntie Rachel, this your cousin Rachel, this your grandma Rachel, or something. What the heck was that? Whatever it is weird. But yeah, I'm past that zone. Oh boy, I'm on a roller coaster, feel like. But anyways, I'm hoping, because y'all heard what I heard. They already reaching out to my present landlord. They should believe it's the house in Mexico, the 4-bedroom. So I pray once I send her my copy, when I get off this highway, I'm gonna pull over somewhere. Probably wait till I get home. I don't know, but I'm gonna send her what she needs, and that's just the proof. I got my proof. I'm not gonna lose this proof, because you never know, down the road I might need it again. But yeah.
It's more proof than a proof.
And then that's another thing that just hit my mind. When I moved into this house, I didn't want that girl to sign my lease, but because she was there before I got there with my stuff, they gave her the lease to sign long before and I told the landlord, no, it's not like that. We're not finna do a lifelong tenancy together. Because this house is only a 3-bedroom. And her 3 kids and my 4 kids, never. I can't do that. But yet, they gave it to her to sign.
And some of
And the
us,
only thing the landlord did was put her as a co-applicant and not the head of household, because you mean what she was gonna do? She tried to pay all her bills to me with food stamps. Lady, girl, it's only so much eating in the world. I'd rather for you to get this gas bill and take over. She took over the water bill. Never did pay the water bill. But when the police put her out that day, she sure enough went to the water company just before 5 o'clock that day and had the water shut off in our house. But that's okay, baby. Because at the time I was getting food stamps. And guess where I was at? At Walmart's. Doing what? Buying tons and tons of water so we could flush that toilet. We could take a whole bath in the sink and boil some noodles all at the same doggone time. And it worked just fine. So she really didn't do anything. Came Monday morning, I went and paid that water bill, and guess what? Water been on ever since. That's what I'm talking about, control freaks. Because she couldn't control me with her food stamps. She tried to control me with the water bill. Really? Then, want to constantly come downstairs and mess with the thermostat, with the air conditioner on full blast. I said, girl, don't do that. You know, doggone well, you ain't gonna give me a dime on this Amazon bill. Don't touch this doggone thermostat no more. Don't do it. Then, with her being on certain drugs for a long time, which she still was when she moved in with me, she wanted every light on, upstairs and down, from the kitchen all the way upstairs. Every light had to stay on. The devil's a lie. Me and my oldest son went around there with a step ladder. We stole every light bulb out that whole apartment. So if you had something to do, you better do it before the sun went down, because that house was pitch black.
and we don't get along with her
And
kids.
because she couldn't buy no light bulbs with her food stamps because they weren't long enough, I ain't have to worry about her going to buy no